Every single day, thousands of bags enter the United States, but not everything inside them survives the journey. In fact, some items are destroyed within minutes of landing. About 43 international travelers arrive daily at John F. Kennedy International Airport. By passenger volume, it's the largest international gateway into the United States. And inside Terminal 4 alone, nearly 1,000 bags move through every hour. Inside those suitcases, clothes, souvenirs, and sometimes things that are completely illegal to bring into the country. Every day, officials confiscate around 120 pounds of food from passengers alone. But here's the real question most travelers never think about. What actually happens to all the items that get seized at the airport? If you were flying into JFK back in the 1990s, bringing items into the US was much easier. But everything changed after September 11th attacks. After that moment, the US government began asking a serious question. How do we protect the country from dangerous food, drugs, and illegal imports? That's when U.S. Customs and Border Protection was created. At airports, you'll usually see two types of CBP professionals. Enforcement officers like Steve Robinson, agricultural specialists like Ginger. Their mission is simple but massive. Find, seize, and destroy millions of illegal items every year. And sometimes they get help from a partner with 4 legs, Steve Robinson. There's his canine Spike. Look, Spike, he's an 8-year-old Belgian Malinois, and I've been his handler since day one. He's trained in narcotics detection, and over our career, we've made over 400 seizures. CBP officers like Steve identify high-risk travelers, along with illegal drugs and firearms trying to enter the country, because the stakes are so high. Dogs like Spike are trained using something called passive response. That means when Spike smells drugs, he doesn't bark. He doesn't scratch. He doesn't create a scene. He simply sits down. And if he's right, he gets rewarded. Robinson. His reward is actually this toy right here. He just loves to play. At this port alone, we recently seized 16 kilograms of ecstasy. Narrator. Those narcotics are confiscated and later incinerated at a secure location. The exact location of that incinerator is kept secret for national security reasons. But here's something surprising. Drugs are not the most commonly seized item at JFK. Food is. When travelers arrive in the US, they're required to declare any food items in their luggage. If they fail to do so, they can face a $1,000 fine for a first offense. And no, it's not because officers want your Spanish ham or Caribbean. It's because their real job is protecting American agriculture. If pests or diseases enter the country, they can destroy entire farming industries. That's where agricultural specialists like Ginger come in. Ginger Peroni. Everything we confiscate gets destroyed to eliminate pest risk. We're protecting the country's agriculture and even preventing bioterrorism threats. And history proves this danger is very real. Between 2007 and 2014, Florida's orange and grapefruit farms lost $2.9 billion because of the Asian citrus psyllid. Another invasive pest, the Asian longhorned beetle, has destroyed thousands of hardwood trees across the U.S. Eradicating it between 1997 and 2010 costs more than $373 million. James Armstrong. In America, we walk into grocery stores and food is always perfect. We don't check it for disease or damage. So we forget how important protecting agriculture really is. That's why even one hidden orange in a suitcase can become a serious problem. But here's the challenge. JFK processes over 34 million international passengers every year. Checking every bag manually would be nearly impossible. For humans, at least. Luckily, they've got backup. Meet the famous Beagle Brigade. This 4-legged officer is Biscuit. Just like Spike and Biscuit uses passive response training. But instead of detecting drugs, Biscuit specializes in sniffing out food. Saugispigina. They start by learning 5 specific odors, but over time they expand their training by retirement. Some of these dogs recognize up to 150 different food smells, and they're incredibly accurate. These beagles achieve around 90% detection accuracy. Armstrong. Watching your dog detect 3 grapes inside a hard suitcase is unbelievable. Scientists say their noses are 1,000 times stronger than ours. Once Biscuit signals a detection, the passenger and their luggage are taken to Ginger for inspection. Ginger! Peroni. Okay, these are both your bags, correct? Did you pack them yourself? She opens every bag and inspects each item manually. If something isn't allowed into the country, it gets confiscated immediately. Peroni. This is very common. From that Regin grape leaves, these are horse meat sausages. And here's another example. A plant someone planned to grow in the United States. Anything meant for propagation requires special entry permits. So this entire bin came from just 2 families on one flight. Once seized, these items are taken to a special room. This is where confiscated food meets its final destination, Peroni. This machine is called the Muffin Monster. It's used to grind up fruits, vegetables, and other organic contraband. But before anything goes into the grinder, Ginger performs one final inspection. She cuts open the fruit. She looks for disease marks, insect entry points, larvae exit holes. If she finds pests, they're neutralized and sent to the United States Department of Agriculture for study. After that, into the Muffin Monster it goes. Around 120 pounds of food are destroyed every single day. Common items include avocados, mangoes, citrus fruits, Peroni. Yes, it can get messy. And believe me, I love food as much as anyone, but I also understand how important it is to destroy risky items before they cause real damage. So next time you travel with food in your luggage, declare it. Let experts decide whether it's allowed, because if you don't, Biscuit will probably find it anyway. If you enjoy uncovering the hidden systems behind money, trade, and global security, make sure you subscribe to The Money, where we break down the real economics happening behind the scenes of everyday life. Because sometimes the biggest money stories are hiding in the places nobody thinks to look.